The drastic drying up of Lake Chad in recent years has been identified as one of the major causes of violent conflicts in Nigeria, Niger, Chad, and Cameroon. The international community at the Oslo Humanitarian Conference on Lake Chad in 2017 pledged funds of more than $600 million to address dire humanitarian needs that resulted from these conflicts in the four countries. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has since been collaborating with international and local civil society organizations to utilize the funds to provide aid to about 10.7 million people currently in need of assistance, with 7.7 million of such people in Nigeria alone. These organizations met recently to discuss ways to reach more people in need, promote the capacities of these local organizations to access available funds, and restore development in affected communities.
The donor conference was able to realize over $600 million to the Lake Chad region. However, on access, we're still trying to ensure that local civil society organizations whose voices were used to arrive at that money really get a large chunk of the money. When it comes to issues around accessing funds at that level, and even the measures that has been put in place is really stringent and very rigid to us. And so we're trying to see how it's more accessible to us. But I think it's a plus in that we have the money now, because initially it was about funds not being available, but now it's in trying to say how do we make these funds more accessible.
The Nigeria Humanitarian Fund is a pooled fund, and currently we have been able to raise through international donors, governments, nearly $46 million altogether. And all of those donors have memorandums of understanding with OCHA, and they have a list of their requirements to make sure that we are accountable, and the humanitarian coordinator, who's the most senior UN official in the country, have systems to be sure that we're accountable in the use of the funds.
The federal government of all these four countries need to step up their games. The level of coordination between these four countries is really at its low ebb. Because you find a situation where one of the country is not aware of what the other country is doing or not supporting with funding of the security situation, you always have some excuses. That is when the insurgents now utilize the situation to their advantages. So the level of ECOWAS and also the other agencies, they need to step up, ensure effective coordination between the two.